The first thing my CEO said after closing the glass door behind us wasn't about profits, deadlines, or damage control. It was, pretend to be my boyfriend for a year. The second thing she noticed was my stunned silence. And the third, spoken by me before my brain could catch up, was, so, will we sleep in the same bed? The question hung between us like a dare, like fate testing how far two strangers were willing to go to protect everything they were about to lose. I never planned on working that late. The office was quiet, the city lights blinking like tired eyes beyond the windows, when she asked me to stay behind. Everyone else had gone home. She stood there, arms crossed, perfectly composed in a way that screamed control, yet her eyes betrayed something raw, fear, maybe desperation. She told me the truth in pieces. The board didn't trust her. Investors wanted stability, a family image. Rumors about her being cold, unapproachable, married only to her work had begun to cost the company deals. A public relationship would calm them. A long one. Convincing. 1 year. I laughed at first, sure it was a joke. Then I saw her hands shake. She wasn't asking because she wanted to. She was asking because she had no one else she trusted. I was safe. Invisible. Loyal. Just an operations analyst who worked too hard and talked too little. Someone who wouldn't sell her secrets. I asked why me. She said because I looked at her like she was human, not a title. That answer scared me more than the proposal. We set rules. Strict ones. Public affection only when necessary. Separate homes. No emotional involvement. No crossing lines. We would be a story carefully rehearsed. Dinners, events, photos. I agreed, not because it made sense, but because something in her eyes made me want to stand between her and whatever storm was coming. The first public appearance went viral. Her hand slipped into mine naturally, like it belonged there. Cameras flashed. She leaned closer, whispering, "Smile." I did. And for a second, I forgot it was fake. The comments poured in overnight, how she looked softer, happier. How I looked like I grounded her. The board approved. The investors relaxed. The company's stock rose. The lie worked. But lies, even beautiful ones, are heavy to carry. Weeks turned into months. Dinners turned into conversations that lasted past midnight. She started asking about my childhood, my failures, the dreams I'd buried because they weren't practical. I learned she slept with the lights on. That she hated her birthday. That success had cost her every relationship she ever tried to keep. We laughed more than we should have. We argued like people who cared. Sometimes, when she fell asleep during late-night planning sessions on my couch, I covered her with a blanket and wondered when pretending started feeling real. The hardest part was the distance we were supposed to keep. Every instinct said step closer. Every rule said step back. One night, during a thunderstorm, the power went out in her apartment. She called me without thinking. I drove through rain that felt like it might wash the world away. She opened the door barefoot, hair undone, fear unhidden. That night, we didn't sleep in the same bed. I sat on the floor beside it, my back against the frame, listening to her breathe, realizing that protecting someone could feel like falling in love. By the time the first scandal hit, a leaked email, twisted headlines, I was already in too deep. The board questioned her leadership again. This time, she broke down. Not in public. In my car, hands over her face, whispering that she was so tired of being strong. I didn't know how to fix her world. I only knew how to stay. So I did. A year sounds like a long time, until you're counting down to the moment it ends. The morning I woke up knowing everything was about to change, I realized the most dangerous part of pretending wasn't the lie itself, it was the truth it uncovered. The company was stable. Her reputation restored. The board satisfied. The contract nearly complete. And I was standing in her kitchen, watching her tie her hair back, knowing I was about to lose the life we'd accidentally built. She avoided my eyes that day. At the final investor event, her smile was perfect. Too perfect. When someone congratulated us on our beautiful relationship, she hesitated before answering. That hesitation felt louder than any confession. That night, she asked me to stay. Not as part of the act. Just stay. We talked until the sun threatened the edges of the sky. She admitted she'd asked me to pretend because she didn't believe anyone could choose her without an incentive. She said she'd learned what it felt like to be loved without conditions, even if it started as a deal. I told her I'd agreed because I thought I was disposable, and that being needed felt like purpose. We sat in silence after that, the kind that only exists when two people are standing at the edge of a truth that could change everything. I asked her what happened after the year ended. She said she didn't know how to go back to a life where I wasn't there. I asked her if she was afraid. She nodded. So was I. When she finally reached for my hand, there were no cameras, no rules, no board to impress. Just two people choosing honesty over safety. We didn't promise forever. We promised effort. We promised not to pretend anymore. We never did sleep in the same bed that night. Not because we were afraid of crossing a line, but because for the first time, we wanted to cross it for the right reasons, not because a contract said so. The world still calls it a fake relationship that turned real. I call it proof that sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is agree to a risk you don't fully understand. Because pretending taught us how to be real. And love, I learned, doesn't begin with certainty, it begins the moment you decide to stay when you're free to walk away.